Hello, this is Greg Smalley on Pod 366, a Weird Movies podcast, joined this week by Giles Edwards.
Hello, everyone.
And today we're going to discuss just two small, one rather weighty release, and then we're going to go.
Wells movie, right?
And then we're going to go through the TIFF, Toronto International Film Festival, which just concluded, and highlight some movies from there that we think some of them we've seen before or we know of before, just ones we think might be weird, might be worth looking for. Several of them are going to be big releases, so you will be able to see them. Before starting, Giles, any news, fun stuff, weather reports?
Well, as you might be able to tell from this cardigan, it has started to be autumnal hereabouts, which, considering the day of the month that it is very appropriate. So, yes, for a northeastern person like me, it is beautiful outside.
Fall begins on the 23rd.
Third, oh, they moved it for. Well, anyway, certainly
2 days.
2 days. Well.
And since you get the weather I have, a few days after I do, you're in for, it's going to warm up briefly.
Briefly? Okay, I see that very briefly, but okay, this is, yeah, well, the prognosticators will do their thing. Regardless, I'll probably be in a cardigan, so.
I've got 82 degrees out right now, so.
I think we're at 72, but I believe we've generally had a 10-degree discrepancy for years now.
Anyway, okay, well, let's just get started then on the this week's two releases. Is it up?
It is up.
It's funny displaying for me, but you just see what do you see?
Oh, I see at multiple angles an increasingly diminished Anthony Perkins and a stylized Dutch up one way, Dutch down another, written form of The Trial, directed by Orson Welles.
It was, and it's like it's like a MC Escher inspired thing of Anthony Perkins, always seen from behind, in shadows, often standing in front of a massive door. It is, yes, The Trial. Now I hesitate to ask, Giles, have you seen The Trial?
I have seen The Trial.
Thank
It
God.
was many years ago, but I do remember enjoying it, finding it very interesting. It was, I had been well established on my path toward rather enjoying movies of all sorts, but not quite starting my beaten path toward weird movies yet. But it crossed my purview because, Orson Welles. Anyone who studied film in this country certainly will know that name. And black and white, that's another thing I enjoy. So yes, I have seen this outing by Mr. Welles with Mr. Perkins.
Okay, Giles, do you have the Criterion page for this?
I do.
Okay, good. Because I'm going to ask you to go through the special features after, I just say a few more words about The Trial. Because about The Trial has been available for many years because it is possibly one of the 2 or 3 best movies that ever fell into the public domain by accident, along with Night of the Living Dead. And there's probably something else that's a real classic. It may be the best, along with that, maybe the best movie ever to fall into the public domain by accident, because they did not comply with the copyright formalities the way they were supposed to. So Orson Welles has a movie in the public domain. Because it was in the public domain, it's always been available, and it's always been available on sort of really crappy copies because it's available. Nobody, everybody can grab a free copy. Nobody really has a lot of motivation to restore it, since that somebody else is just going to sell DVDs for $1.50 and undercut you if you spend all the money. But Criterion will do it. Criterion has done it before for public domain films. They did it for Night of the Living Dead, and the Criterion premium brand and all the extras that they add makes it so it's possible for them to put out a really good edition of a public domain film, and so they have.
Also, with doing a quick research into famous movies that fell into public domain, it would explain their Charade with Cary Grant is also one of theirs that is a public domain film.
I did not realize Charade was public domain. Yeah, so, and that's, of course, it's it's two great artists. You got one of your greatest film directors of all time, Orson Welles, adapting the great seminal novelist Franz Kafka, and adapts him at the same time. He's both very true to Kafka's actual writing and very loose, because for one thing, he takes another story and tacks it on as the prologue and actually reads it twice. So another story that Kafka does appears in the trial. That is Before the Door of the Law, I think is the name of it. And it's the prologue that's done with the pincushion art, which is really cool. And then he also changes the ending somewhat controversially. Not everybody liked the change he made to the ending. I really liked it. It made it, gave it a very contemporary Atom Age feel to it.
Yeah.
And was a pretty bold gambit, really, to change. But Kafka's own ending, as he often didn't finish things completely, probably could use a little spicing up. Arguably could use a little spicing up.
Well, yeah, it was an incomplete novel.
Yeah.
I allow any amount of leeway with book conversions into cinema. It's a different kind of storytelling with a different storyteller, but particularly in complete works, I'd say the door is wide open.
Yeah, and of course, Orson Welles' cinematography in this is noirish. Lots of shadows, lots of weird angles, lots of disorienting moments. It's really, it's a masterpiece of a movie, to be honest. I like it better than Citizen Kane. Maybe my favorite Orson Welles picture, to be honest.
Yeah. I'd have to rewatch both. But from the top of my head, I'd say Citizen Kane is more important and the trial is better, in my view.
Yeah, that's a great way to look at it. Citizen Kane, the reason it's such a great movie are so revered is because it changed so many things about the language of cinema and the way you shot things, and the innovation of deep focus, which had never been done before, and all the amazing wipes, and there's just a lot of formal experimentation that I think also people who look at Citizen Kane now don't realize how because it looks like every movie today with the language it uses. They don't realize how different it was than other movies from the 40s, and how much
it was like the first every movie.
Yeah, it's like the first every movie. And so a lot of people coming to Citizen Kane, now don't see what the big deal is about it. So it's really more of a historically important movie because of all the things that changed. But Giles, I was just wondering if you could read off some of the special features for the trial. from the
Certainly can. New 4K digital restoration with uncompressed monaural soundtrack, also including a normal Blu-ray disc. A new audio commentary featuring film historian Joseph McBride. Filming the Trial, a 1981 documentary about the film's production. Archival interviews with Wells, actor Jean Moreau, and director of photography Edmund Richard. Trailer, English subtitles, plus, as they seem to include, I think, every Criterion I've got, has an essay by someone. This someone, in this case, is Jonathan Lethem. And I noticed that a lot of the time they used to advertise their color bars, which I guess is less of a thing now that televisions have advanced as they did.
Yeah, I haven't seen the color bars in a while, and probably for black and white films, not as.
Well, then there's that, yeah.
So The Trial, which is, we should point out, a canonically weird movie also within our canon of 366 weirdest movies ever made, now on Criterion. For many people, this will be a must purchase, and that includes me. I'm gonna bite the bullet and purchase this, and I'll probably purchase it even before the Criterion half price sale comes around. That's how much I want this.
Well, you'll be in some luck because there is a Blu-ray only edition for about $10 less.
Yeah, which I'll take. I would take a DVD only edition probably. We've discussed that before. My TV is not good enough to see much difference in definition. But so The Trial, yes, everybody, that is a must buy for many folks. Now coming up though is Bertie.
A must buy for other types of folks.
I was going to say not a must buy for people, but yes, it is a must buy for some people. Giles, have you seen Gordon?
I haven't had the pleasure.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so it's kind of a reach for a weird movie, but certainly it's a cult movie that has its fans. It is so very 80s. It is as 80s as any movie could ever be. It's probably 85, probably the heart of the 80s. And it is sort of Berry Gordy's The Last Dragon is sort of, a riff on The Karate Kid, and at the same time a riff on Purple Rain, and
yeah,
takes a couple of very popular trends at the time and runs it through a blaxploitation filter, although blaxploitation was 10 years old and time, but why not?
I have a plot description here.
Sure, read the plot description.
Yeah, this will clarify.
Yeah.
Martial arts student Leroy Green is on a quest to obtain the elusive, all-powerful force known as the Glow. Along the way, he must battle the evil, self-proclaimed Shogun of Harlem, a kung fu warrior also known as Shonuff, and rescue a beautiful singer from an obsessed record promoter.
Yes. The beautiful singer being Vanity, and the star being a guy named I think his name is, it's like Timac.
Yep.
And he's a martial artist. As you can probably, if you can see the picture, you can see, he's quite cut. He's not a great actor, however, I will say. And in an era of very macho heroes, he's not super macho either. He's kind of more Ralph Macchio than Sylvester Stallone, which may have been, like I said, there's a lot of Karate Kid writing on their success here. So, and of course the female lead is Vanity, who was a big deal in the middle 80s. Prince backup singer, had her own pop music solo career, and a very beautiful woman. And I believe this movie actually had a hit song from it.
Oh God! Well, yeah. Well, looking at that list of music artists there: Stevie Wonder, Smokey Robinson, The Temptations, Sarita Rockwell. Yeah, okay, yep. I would be shocked if it didn't have a
Pretty good soundtrack. I believe the hit was DeBarge, and I believe it was Rhythm of the Night, and I think that came out with this movie. I'm not 100% sure. If not, it was prominently featured in this movie.
Let's see if I can. Yep, DeBarge's Rhythm of the Night. Oh, okay, that would okay, yeah, because I know that song, and this will probably help explain why.
So it's a it's a little weird, but more sort of crazy nostalgia, loony randomness from the 80s that many people enjoy. And so buy it on 4K if you wish. I don't think you can buy Citizen Kane on 4K yet, but you can buy The Trial and The Last Dragon. So
Good question.
next, Giles, I'm guessing you don't know what you're looking at.
Okay. Yeah, when browsing through a massive menu about half an hour ago, that image did come across my eyes, but I didn't investigate. So it looks like 4 people staring down into a hole.
One of them is Nathan Lane. Does that help?
Okay, I guess that's upper left is I can see that, and I imagine if I scroll through this menu, shall I tell them what the menu is?
Nah.
Okay.
I'll just tell you what it is. It is the winner, audience choice winner for Midnight Madness at the Toronto International Film Festival. It is Dix the Musical. Yes,
I
Dix.
didn't know there was a not musical.
You didn't know that there was a non-musical version of Dix?
Yeah, that's that.
So Dix the Musical could be a weird movie. Can you see now the website, Giles?
Oh yeah, I see TIFF.
So there it is. You can look, we're going to post the trailer to Dix the Musical. Giles obviously missed Dix the Musical. Well, TIFF, like I say, it won the audience award for Midnight Madness. It is a musical about 2 identical twins who don't look very much alike, who have large male genitals apparently and like to sing about it. And they are trying to bring their parents back together. Nathan Lane, who has come out as gay since then, and Megan Mullally, I think that's how you pronounce her name, who, it says here, carries her vagina around in a purse. Okay.
All right. Yes. Okay.
And there are lots of songs.
Okay. Uproarious musical comedy riff on The Parent Trap, a film that, at least the Haley Mills version, I'm familiar with.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to be much like the Haley Mills.
No.
And it's from A24. It'll get a large release. I have read at least one critic thought it was weird. Certainly very
Forthright?
forthright. Well, queer, I was going to say, more of a John Waters type sense. The 2 main characters, I believe, are supposed to be heterosexual alpha male salesmen. However, they speak like, if you watch the trailer, they speak like stereotypical effeminate gay men, which I think is a joke. There are also some little like claymation puppet monsters that Nathan Lane likes to keep in a cage, presumably for sexual purposes, but I'm not going to speculate too much on that.
Well, no, certainly not before giving the movie a fair shake and watching it.
So that was Dix the Musical.
Okay.
It's going to be on big screens, and people are going to see maybe
big things.
Yeah, maybe more just kind of vulgar comedy is what I would assume it's going to be, more than something really weird. But we shall see. People are going to check that out. Other movies, before we get in to see if you found anything, Giles, I'll just mention this one because I want to put that really nice, cool still back up on screen again. You recognize that one, right?
Oh yeah, that's got a number one in it somewhere. Agro.
Aggro Drift.
Yeah, yeah.
Harmony Korine's video games type of movie. So we got those two out of the way. I got 6 other movies to talk about in various lengths. Giles, did you find anything that played at TIFF that you wanted to mention? I'll see if it duplicates my list.
Well, I did only quickly browse, but of course, whenever I see the words Nicolas Cage, I immediately dive in to investigate what that may be about. And so I certainly am intrigued by Dream Scenario,
There we go.
which has probably the least conventionally attractive Nicolas Cage look I've seen in his long career of looking to varying degrees of presentable.
Yeah.
Very professorial, as is appropriate for his professor character in this movie. So that certainly caught my eye.
Yes, they've given him male pattern baldness and a very gray beard.
Very academic beard, definitely.
Trailer for that one, of course, is also out, and we'll post that, and it's it'll be on our site. This is another one from A24, so 2 A24 movies premiering, both sort of interest to us. And do you know the plot, Giles, or?
I read the plot. It concerns a college professor who is not at all well known, who begins to mysteriously appear in more and more and more people's dreams. They tell me primarily in the background, but he starts becoming identified, and apparently his dreamscape personae become increasingly unhinged.
Sounds good. Yeah. I'm not sure exactly how weird that's going to be. I think it's going to be fairly mainstream, to be honest, but the idea of Nick Cage in a dream movie is obviously going to catch our attention.
Yes, we will check it out, and it seems at least to one degree or another, Ari Aster has slapped his name onto this.
Yes, that's so. I think last week, Giles, I teased that there was something that playing at TIFF that you were going to be interested in, and it was this movie, indeed.
You were right.
Did you see anything else?
I only clicked on one other thing because its title made me think of a sort of classic French New Wave noir title. They shot The Piano Player, which I've seen the movie Shoot the Piano Player, which I quite enjoyed, but I didn't quite check it out yet. It looks like at the very least it's animated, which is, you know, can be promising for us. But that probably will be more, shall we say, interesting than weird.
Yeah, nice looking animation. I like, very classic. Looks like a jazz album cover, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think it's a noirish mystery in
and yeah, with a lead voiced by Jeff Goldblum, that's certainly going to be a pleasure.
The soundtrack, I'm imagining, is going to be great to this because João Gilberto Gil de Moraes, can't pronounce him, sorry, and a lot of other great Brazilian musicians. I'm a big bossa nova fan, so in that sense, that would be a big one for me. Well, there's one other I think that's really huge. I'm going to go through 4, however, that I think are kind of long shots before we get one more movie that I think everybody is going to be interested in and want to see. This is La Chimera. It's from Main Reason, even though the description didn't give us much to work on. says, for example, a programmer writes that it cradles us between the waking and sleeping worlds. Okay, let's hope so. It's from Alice Rohrwacher, who has done some weird movies in the past, including Happy as Lazaro, which, although it was a fairly weird art house style movie, I didn't really like. It got a lot of other people liked it quite a bit more than I did. I don't really didn't make much of an impression on me. This one, Isabella Rossellini is in, which is always good.
Well, seeing as we actually have a little time, I have a quick question for you because you might know. I see that for whatever reason, TIFF filed this under L, which has, which I'm not offended by, but slightly troubled.
Yeah, they.
Do you know what the standard is for foreign articles?
Yeah, usually they file it under, like El Topo would be filed under E on an English list, and La Chimera,
Okay.
Chimera, I think, but would be filed under L on an English list. However, on Toronto, they file anything that starts with the under T. So it makes it very annoying to go through their website, to be honest.
That explains why the list was so bottom heavy.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you get into a bunch of T's, and you'll
like, oh, the rest of the movies.
I'm, it's sort of the, I think, well, anyway, that's like a grammar question. Or,
oh yeah, no, it's.
But the style, the main, ALA in Chicago say to alphabetize them, including the article in foreign language things. Probably because they don't want to go through the trouble of figuring out. Also, there's a lot of ones with L apostrophe, which becomes a huge problem.
I was just quickly curious, since
so that's that.
You're an educated guy.
Yeah, sure. Next one, Mademoiselle Canopsia. So this is a very experimental film, probably not going to be good. It's about a woman. It's about a woman alone in a sliver of space, checking on rooms, inspecting a kitchen, taking a call from a supervisor, entirely alone, unless she isn't. Very minimalist. I might have to watch it. Fortunately, it's only 80 minutes long.
I saw that.
Denise Cote. So he's done some weird movies in the past. Also, like Thick and Flow, Saw a Bear. So it could be weird. Doesn't the one person alone on screen for 80 minutes doesn't really sound super enticing. There must be more to it, or it wouldn't have made it to the Toronto International Film.
They seem to be dropping hints that they may be dying to tell us more, but they can't.
Yeah. So which had just trouble, getting people interested in it.
I had a similar issue with talking or not being able to talk about One Cut of the Dead a few years back, where it's like a real-time zombie movie, and you should really, really, really watch it.
And I can't
tell you anything more. So
we'll see. We'll see. I don't know if that will. Given the synopsis, it's not going to play a lot of places. So I don't know if we'll have a chance to catch it or not, but it'll probably show up on, maybe Tubi or something. Who knows? I want to do this one first. Not that it really matters what order I take these ones in. This is called Mother Couch. And it stars Ewan McGregor and F. Murray Abraham. Laura Flynn Boyle is in there. Rise Ifans. So a lot of people you've heard of. From the plot, all I can say is it's about a woman, Ellen Burstyn, who's old now, goes to a furniture store, she sits down on a couch and refuses to leave. And that's the plot. So it caught my attention because they do say the director has a unique voice with a surrealism that builds to an arresting series of images. And the idea of a grandmother plopping down on a couch and then not moving does sound kind of Buñuelian.
It does.
So, that could be just a mildly absurdist, mildly surreal comedy. It could be something really strange. Don't know. That's why it's just kind of a quick hit. Next one is Riddle of Fire, played in the midnight section. It is about three rascal children run afoul of an enigmatic coven in a whimsical neo-fairy tale. It evokes a menagerie of esoteric genres and dreamy cult film vibes. You gotta like dreamy cult film vibes. Another
so yeah, we got rascal, enigmatic, whimsical, neo-fairy tale, esoteric, dreamy. Wow, it's just like, hey.
And elsewhere they describe it as the sensation of tuning into a late night broadcast of an obscure and wackadoo children's film from another dimension, which sounds pretty good to me.
Promising.
Oh,
described as Wes Anderson's Gummo.
Wes Anderson's Gummo. Yeah, all promising stuff. I don't think it, it didn't win any awards. It certainly was overshadowed in the midnight film category by Dix the Musical. But we shall see. It certainly has a lot of promising elements to it. But so we come to the last film, which is one that people will indeed be widely interested in. It is, do you recognize it, but Giles, or are you out of the loop?
I think I'm out of the loop. I certainly recognize the style. Wait, did we talk about this one before?
We have talked about it before.
Okay, is this the Franco-Japanese co-production?
Could be.
What's the title, Greg? And I can
The Boy and the Heron.
Try to catch
Definitely Japanese. I don't know if it's Franco.
Okay, I'm probably thinking of
you're thinking of Blind Willow Sleeping Woman.
Okay.
This is the new Miyazaki movie, The Boy and the Heron.
That would explain why I recognize the style.
It's Miyazaki, yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's under T. Hang on. I'll get there.
And do you have it up?
I will press. There we go. Come on, internet. All right, I got it up.
If you want. Well, we got 5 minutes. All I wanted to say about this is, it's obviously Miyazaki. A lot of buzz, especially among animation fans and weird movie fans, to a lesser extent than animation fans. Came in third overall for Audience Award at TIFF, the third most popular feature to screen at TIFF, which I found a little disappointing, to be frank, but that shows how high my opinion of Miyazaki is, that if he comes in third at a festival with like 200 films, I'd be, well, it's not one of his better
luck next time, guy. What do you know what came in second?
You would think this would be a huge, and it will be a huge movie. It will be an Academy Award nominated animated film, could even win, up against some tough competition this year with the Star Wars movie, or Star Wars Spider-Man movie. But yeah, it's the same thing. Star Wars, Spider-Man.
Yeah, one of those franchises that we don't really get out to see much.
Do you have anything? Can you read a plot real quick?
Oh yes, with pleasure. Already acclaimed as a masterpiece in Japan, Hayao Miyazaki's new film begins as a simple story of loss and love, and rises to become a staggering work of imagination. And all right, so we have the story of, during the Second World War, young Mahito Maki suffers a heartbreaking family tragedy and must move immediately to the countryside. where his father works for a family making planes for Japan's military, as Miyazaki's own father did. Isolated, Mahito begins exploring the mysterious landscapes and encounters a gray heron persistent in its presence. The boy also happens upon an abandoned tower. Curious, he enters. From there, the boy and the heron expands into a wondrous, often startling phantasmagoria. So, little kid, someplace new, great stuff happening.
Yeah, a lot of weird creatures. Sounds kind of like another Miyazaki movie.
At least
This
one.
time with a male. Unusual for Miyazaki to have a boy protagonist instead of a girl protagonist. I don't know. I can think of another Miyazaki movie that, other than maybe The Wind Rises, that has a male protagonist.
I'm with you on that one.
I don't know that it means anything or that it's really important.
Well,
but,
I'm sure one or both of us will find out.
it's curiosity, yeah. So yeah, that's that. All right, that's everything. Next week we have a huge slate of movies to go through. And you notice we didn't discuss Fantastic Fest, which I believe is running at right now.
I think it's on right now. I believe last night there was a screening of Divinity.
Yeah. Well, we had discussed it earlier, so that's why we discussed it very early. So we got it out of the way so it wouldn't conflict with our discussion of TIFF or Venice. So that's going to about do it for the film festival circuit this year anyway. That's about the last one. There's a Beyond Fest is coming up in Los Angeles, but they don't have any premieres. We may go, discuss some things. Next week, however, we have a lot of movies to discuss, a lot of releases. That happens some weeks, nothing this week, then a lot next week. And we should have a guest on to discuss them with us. If he's not on next week, he'll be on the week after, I'm sure. We're going to come back to Joe Badon again, second round. So we've used up all our guests. We're starting to double back on them. We'll get some more new guests coming up. I haven't worked as hard on building a guest list as I should, but because I've been busy with other things. But I will get on that. We should have some more guests for you soon. All right. Any closing words other than that, Giles?
No, I'll do my homework for next week so that I can speak quickly and intelligently about the many titles on offer.
It would help also if I got you the list of titles we're going to discuss a little
that as well. Yes.
5 minutes before recording. We didn't do that, but he didn't. Going through Toronto, like there are hundreds of movies there. It takes a lot to go through there and find stuff. So there's probably stuff we missed that might be interesting. All right, we're going to sign off. See you next week. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.